f3. And black plays pawn to d5. White goes c4. And now black can push pawn to d4, take the pawn on c4. He goes e6 here. And now pawn to g3. Well, it might transpose back into Catalan territory if white goes d4. But one of the things that white does in this opening is kind of delay it so that you have some different facets to the position. Castles by Arjun. Black also castles here. And now b3 is one of the main moves here. Arjun goes d4. And now knight d7 or c6 will lead to the closed Catalan. D takes c4 will lead to the open one. He takes it. He takes d takes c4. And now we have knight e5 played. Generally queen c2 or a4 are common moves there, but knight e5 trying to take this pawn is met with knight c6. This is a well-known line. You are putting pressure here and you are not so afraid of the doubled pawns here. So if take and bishop takes, there is rook b8. So taking with the bishop is more common. And now pawn takes and knight takes c6. He takes it. And queen goes to e8, attacking the knight on c6. He takes the bishop on e7. Queen takes e7. And now queen a4, attacking the pawn on c4. Black plays e5. This is all well-known theory. And d takes e5 by Arjun. Queen takes e5 and now queen c4 is heavily played. Second most popular move is knight c3. But Arjun goes rook e1 and this has been played only 4 times, with a well-known game being Hikaru versus Wesley So. And in that game bishop e6 was played, but queen c5 played by Vitiogov, maybe a small inaccuracy. And this is exactly what Arjun wanted with the move rook e1, to slightly throw off his opponent. And Vitiogov goes queen h5. Now he's threatening knight g4. A very nice idea is knight d2, knight g4, knight f1, defending e3 and h2. But Arjun calmly plays f3, taking into control the g4 square. And now the queen attacks the bishop and the pawn on b2. And Arjun plays bishop f2, a provocative move, because he could have gone queen a3, defending b2 and e3. But he goes bishop f2, queen takes b2, and now knight to a3, attacking the pawn on c4. And you will see that the queen is slightly precariously positioned now. In terms of going back. For example, if you go back queen e5, then knight c4, and already white is slightly better, in these positions with knight a5, knight c6. He goes bishop d7, attacking the queen, takes on c4. Now, if bishop takes a4, knight b2, white is pressing here. You see the c7 weakness. It will be quite a difficult endgame. And so Nikita takes on a1. Very interesting move, by the way. Because now with queen a3, this is what Arjun had noticed, that now the queen has no square to go out. So has to give up itself for another rook, bishop e1, and we reach a position of queen versus 2 rooks. Generally, 2 rooks are considered to be stronger than a queen, but it's a matter of assessment. And why does Arjun assess this as better for him? Because there are weaknesses in black's camp and there is a possibility to attack the black king with bishop c3 and creating weaknesses. Rook b8 played, defending the bishop. And now Arjun plays bishop c3. This is excellent assessment by Arjun. Very high class play. I mean, one could say that, oh, this is normal stuff, but it's actually very high class. Very high class. Rook e8. And now king f2 makes a lot of sense to get the pawn protected here on e2. But Arjun thinks for a bit and finds an insane move, knight e3. So he's giving up a pawn, but he's ready to take this, put his knight on f5 and attack the king. This is what the queen and knight, this is when they become a deadly combo. Bishop e2 played by Nikita. And now Arjun plays, yes, king f2, a good move, bringing the king in, defending the f3 pawn, attacking the bishop. Rook comes to b5, the queen is attacked, but this is a mistake. He should have played bishop d3, which is still very dangerous after bishop f6, gf6, g4. But rook b5 now gives either a7 or c7 pawns. Arjun has a choice. He takes, queen takes a7. Takes the pawn on a7. And you can see Vitiogov goes bishop to d3. And now we can actually chop off the piece on f6. And by the way, this was maybe another inaccuracy. Knight d5 could have been slightly better move. But okay, Arjun is already clearly better. And one can see how Arjun is like a machine, yeah. Very difficult to outwit him. Queen d4 now, super strong. Again finds it, attacks the bishop and the pawn. When the bishop moves away, there is knight d5 move. So goes bishop g6 and now knight g4 or knight d5. Both are incredibly strong. And you will see that the queen takes control of this square. Rook cannot enter. It's amazing how Arjun has managed to keep complete control of the position. And there he goes, jumps in with knight to d5. Incredible move, attacking the f6 pawn. And Vitiogov is lost, just like that. But one has to see the artistry of Arjun's play. Firstly, giving up those two rooks for the queen and then masterfully combining his bishop, knight and queen to create weaknesses in opponent's camp. Takes on f6. If king g7, already knight g4 leads to a very strong attack and win of material. So king f8. And now maybe pawn to a4 makes a lot of sense. Again plays the best move, Ajubai. The rook is hanging here. Rook a5 played here. And now knight d5 is an interesting move, because if you take the pawn, it's a checkmate here on h8. So you have to play rook takes on d5. And the nice thing about this position is that Arjun doesn't have to grind in this endgame, which should also be winning. But he can actually go and check on h8, which he does, and pick up the a rook. King e7. And he picks up queen takes a8. And now the a pawn is just simply running down the board. King e3. Rook d3. Check. King goes to e2. And now just start pushing the pawns. Rook a3. He goes queen c6. Brings his queen there, waits for a bit, does not leave it, and now leaves it. Protecting the pawn, attacking c7. And Vitiogov plays check. Is still not reached 40th move. They are on 36th move here. And Arjun can start moving his king upwards as well. But he decides to play king d1. Maybe a check. King d2, check. King c2 also is possible, perhaps. Not worrying about rook c2 and then coming here. Oh, he resigns. He resigns maybe a bit too soon, but maybe not so soon. Wow. Arjun Erigaisi is scoring his third win of the Fide Grand Swiss 2025, reaching a score of 4 out of 5 in this position, in this tournament, and now just half a point behind the leader Parham Maksudlu, setting up a clash with him in the final round. But what really